Hey, welcome back to Adam's Brick Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing a build of the Tokyo architecture set from Make It Blocks. Picked this up at the Dollar Tree for only $3. Instructions are just as confusing as other Make It Blocks brands, so I'm going to be doing a video where I go step by step and show you how to assemble it. Before I get started, I just want to say I just hit 500 subscribers recently, and I'm thrilled, and thank you so much to all of my viewers. That being said, I also noticed that 93% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if you like this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Let's get started. Here are the parts for step 1. And as usual in these types of videos, I will show the parts on the screen for just a few seconds, and then I'm going to start the build. So the first thing we're going to want to do is put our round piece down. We'll put this studs facing like a plus sign here. And then on top of that, we're going to be putting the rounded corners just like this, all the way around. So now it's more of almost a square shape. And the center is going to be this one. If I can click it on, there we go. And then on each side, connecting where the slit is here, we're going to put this piece with the studs facing outward. Obviously, it's the only way it would fit. So that is it for step 1. Let's move on to step 2. Oh, I forgot to mention that right now this is the Tokyo Tower that I am building. We build 3 things here. One is this little thing, I don't know what it is. Then the Tokyo Tower was this big red and white one. And then this is the Cocoon Tower. But let's continue. These are the parts for step 2. Step 2 is fairly straightforward. We're going to take the big round one and put it in the middle. The little round one right in the middle on top of that. And then the little 2x2 squares on the other studs on the top. So right there, there, here, and here. So there's step 2. Let's move on to step 3. Okay, here are the parts for step 3. You will notice there are a lot of them. First thing we're going to want to focus on is this little green box here. So we're going to do this box 4 times. So we're going to take one of these pieces. We're going to take this claw piece, click it on. The other side, we'll get the other type of claw piece with the little stud on top. Underneath the claw piece, you're going to use, if I don't throw it across the room, underneath the claw piece, you're going to use one of these little round 1x1s. Be very careful when you're picking these, because I do have some that have the holes in the middle, so make sure you're getting the right ones. In this case, you want all 4 to be solid. And that's going to go right under that square. Just like that. And then you're going to want to take your little curvy piece here and you're going to hook it on top of the stud. That big hole in the bottom is where that's going to go. So it's going to look like that. And then on these 2 studs, you're going to put one of these. So this is what the green box makes. And I'm going to go ahead and do that 3 more times. So now that these are done, these are going to end up hooked to here. This is going to be tricky. So this doesn't actually hook on, it sits here, and you take these little curved ones here, if I can pick one up. We're going to take this, and it's going to go here, and that is what's going to hold those on. So we're going to do that with all 4 of the things we just made. Just like that. And these last 4 pieces are going to go here between them. So these are these wedges, so the shorter side goes out, the taller side goes in. Just like that. We're going to put that on all 4 sides. So that's it for step 3. Now for step 4. Okay, so these are all the parts for step 4. It's just 4 of this part. And how these are going to go is like this, because the only place to hook is right there. And it's going to go under the leg. So let's just spread the legs out. We're going to hook this here on all 4 sides. And push the legs down against it as much as we can. So we end up with that after step 4. Let's move on to step 5. Okay, here are the parts for step 5. Let's go ahead and get started building. First, we're going to take this first green box. We're going to do this 4 times. We're going to take the little strange looking wedge one and one of these and just stick it to the bottom like that. Well, I'm assuming top, whatever. We're going to put it on the 2 pegs, the 2 studs, and we're going to do that 4 times. And now we can look at the other green box where we're going to take our little red stick here and one of these, and we're going to stick that right in the end here. And now we can start assembling stuff. So looks to be we're going to be assembling around this, the wide part down right towards the bottom at that level. And you're going to do that all the way around, but first this one is going to end up here. Like that. So there's a gap between them. And we will assemble the outer walls all the way around it. Just like that. And that is all for step 5. So let's move on to step 6. Okay, here are the parts for step 6. All we're going to do here is take the white little squares and put it in each corner of the big black square. And you're going to be putting something between them, so we have to make sure they're fairly straight. That one's definitely not straight, that one's not straight, there we go. And then we're going to take the thing we just built in step 5, and we're going to stick it between, make sure it all hooks down nicely. Try to straighten these up the best we can for making it look the best. And then that is it for step 6. Time to move to step 7. Okay, here are the parts for step 7. Let's go ahead and get started building. First, we're going to tackle this green box, and this is where it's important to pay attention to the little round pieces. So for this green box, we want the solid ones. For the other green box, we want the ones with holes for the red. And on this one, we want some with holes and some without holes for the white. So to start with, we're going to put the 2 white with holes on top of each other. One of these white ones with studs every direction, right on top of that. And then the 2 solid reds on top of that. If you can hear the train, I apologize. On top of this, you're going to put one of these red with the studs in every direction. Just like that. And then you're going to put one of the whites with a hole and then the solid white. And then on top of that, one of the whites with studs in every direction. So in the end, you have this here. Now, you're going to do on the edges, you're going to hook these on. So you're gonna have red, or white, I mean. I know my colors. White on the top row. And then red. Basically white is over the white, red is over the red. And I'm gonna put these around because there's gonna be a third row where it's white to go for the white again. So just like that. And that is the end of that green box. So let's go ahead and move on over to the other green box. And for this one, we're going to have two little white boxes we have to look at first inside the green box. The first one uses this piece here and these two, and it just stacks it on the bottom of it like this. And then the other one into that, just like that. And then the other white box is just putting these together like this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I do it the right direction, that's helpful. There we go. So now we're going to actually hook these to these. So hold this with the little round ones facing up, and then hold these with this little ridge facing to the left and hook them on just like that. So it should be pretty even at the top and the stud sticks out at the bottom. And you're just going to go around it, keeping that groove always on the left, because that way it makes this nice connection there. And now we want to take this round piece and then the piece we built in step 6, flip this over and put this in the middle. Just like that. And then this piece is going to hook into that right there. Just make sure that the edge faces the same as that. And then it's not going to hold on very well, but that is going to go into there. Again, make sure everything lines up the same direction. And then you end up with this after step 7. Now let's move to step 8. Okay, here are the parts for step 8. Let's go ahead and do this green box first. So first thing we want is the shorter of the white sticks. And then we're going to take one of these, if I don't drop it, one of these, and we're going to stick the stick through it. And then we're going to put this piece next with the stud piece. The part that sticks off is going to go on like that. And then we're going to put the other one of these on top the other direction. So you end up with that. At the end, push that down so that it's flush. Next thing is going to be one of these red circles. In this step, both of them are the ones with the holes. On top of that is going to be the other white stick, just kind of snapped onto it like that. And the end of that, you're going to put the other red one. You want to keep it as flush as you can at the top. So this can go in and then slide it down. That way you can make sure this was hooked onto that properly. Slide it all the way down so that you end up with this, which will then be inserted into the top of the other piece. And that's why the ones with the holes mattered, because I had to go through some layers of that. So that's it for step 8. Let's move on to step 9. Step 9 is just putting these two together. So it should go this way because these should line up with the legs, just like that. If you pop the top off, that's fine, just put it back. But there we are, that's what we have. There's Tokyo Tower. And now we can move on to the next piece. Okay, here are all the parts for step 10. I might as well zoom in because there's only a few. Okay, and all we're going to do in this is we're going to take one of these brown pieces and stick it in the bottom of one of these pieces. Trying to keep them lined up the same direction as much as possible. Put another brown piece, another green piece, another brown piece, and then top it off with the little cone. So you have that cool little building. Okay, that's it for step 10. Step 11 is a large one. It is the actual whole base, but that's what's next. Okay, here are all the parts for step 11. Now this step 11 is very confusing. Take a look at this green box and you'll see how the black pieces are all laid out. But then if you look outside of the green box, you'll notice it's tilted the other direction, making it even more confusing. So I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible. So first, let's move the grays all kind of out of the way. The top is going to be this big one here. It's a 4x12. Under that, you're going to have the 6x10. On the very right, you're going to have this really long one. I don't know how long. There's only one of them though, so it's hard to miss. And that actually goes all the way to the bottom of the base here of the build. So we're going to adjust this a little bit. And then this will go here. The next longest one will go in between. Next thing down is going to actually be this one. It's like the only piece that isn't a flat piece. And it's going to go right here. Underneath that, you're going to have the 1x4 on the edge. And then you're going to have the little L shape next right there. If I don't knock everything all over the place, it would be helpful. Underneath that, you're going to have the one with the little curved edges. And on the bottom, you're going to fill it out with that. This last black piece will end up on these studs after you put the Tokyo sticker on it, which is the last step of the instructions. Okay, first we're going to start just on the top left. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 1x3, put it right in the very corner. Take one of the longest 2 wide flat ones and put it right next to it here. Just like that. And then you're going to do another 1x3 on this end going the other direction. You are going to want the 1x6 all the way on this edge, and that'll be connecting this piece and this piece now, so those will stop sliding around, which is great. And then you're going to put this one with a little stud, little square. It's going to go in this hole here. Next to that, you're going to have a 1x2 right here. And then you want one of the 1x2s with a little stud on it. And then you're going to do one of the 1x4 flat ones. So now we're starting to get a nice finished look there. Can't wait for all to be held together so it stops breaking apart. Next, we want one of the 2x3 flat pieces, and that's going to go right here. So now that's even more holding those together. Next to that should be one of the longest pieces, again, which now will hold that piece on. We're getting somewhere now. Next, I'm going to put this 1x2 right here with the stud. And then the little single square goes right next to that. Right there. Just trying to come up with the easiest way to get around all of these. Next to this, I'll do the L, so at least those two pieces are held together now. Underneath that will be a 2x3, which doesn't help hold anything together. Let's move back up to this spot, which will have one of the threw it on the floor. One of these longest ones is going to go right here. Sorry if you hear the snowplow, it's very loud. And that will go right there. And then next to here, I'm going to put a 1x2 facing this direction, followed by another one of the full biggest ones here. Oops, breaking it again. Okay. Then we're going to take another one of these longest ones and put it right here against that edge. And then a 1x2 with a stud at that end of it. And then the last of the really long 1x2s will go right next to that. And on the end we'll have a 1x3 flat. Sorry, I got dog hair here. And then a 1x4 flat will go right under that. So we're almost done. This is all we have left. So a 2x3 will go right here. So now these pieces are held together. This one, which is a 1x6, will hold the rest of the bottom together. Looks like the square should be 2 spots open over from that, so right there. A 2x4 will fill that spot. And then 1x4 flat goes here. 1x2 with a stud, 1x2 without a stud, and the 2x4. And then we'll stick this on the end here, just like that. And there we have it. That's step 11. It was a rough one, but we have it done. Let's move on to step 12. Okay, here are the parts for step 12. It's just step 11, step 10, and step 9. And what you're going to do is this little building is going to end up on this little square here. Just the black piece just goes in. And then for the Tokyo Tower, your legs are going to hook onto these 4 studs that go around the side. So you're going to want to make sure you turn them so your legs face down. And then just go all the way around and make sure they are hooked on. Which is easier said than done. Making sure they all line up where they need to. Luckily, there's lots of flexibility to those, so you can manipulate them how you need to hook it on. But that is it for step 12. Let's move on to step 13. Okay, here are the parts for step 13. We will be building this 3 times, and you'll notice that the white background is gone. That is because I'm building a white building, and it would just kind of blend in. So, let's get started. First, we're going to do this. We're just going to pop the flat 2x4 on top of another 2x4. And then we're going to put one of these 4x4 or 2x2s right there. And then on this side, we're going to put the one with a hole in it. And then on the other side, we're going to do just a 1x2. So that's what we have right this second. Let's see. And then the top of this will go here. So this will go just like that with a 2x4. And then a 2x2 will hook onto the bottom. So we have that. And we're doing this 3 times. These, and these. And there we are. Okay, that was step 13. Let's move on to step 14. Okay, here are the parts for step 14. If we look, we have this green box, but inside we also have a white box, so let's just tackle that real quick. So for the white box, we're just going to take these ones, if it'll focus, right there, and these ones, and just stick it together. We're going to do that 3 times. It doesn't say do it 3 times there, but the overall step is 3 times, meaning this step also 3 times. Okay, so we're going to tackle the left side of the green box now. And the bottom is one of these. And now it doesn't really specify which of these we use in any given situation in this one. But I'm guessing... Okay, so I'm guessing that this one will be the very bottom one, or like closest to this, which is a solid. I'm guessing it's the solid ones, not the whole ones. So it's just going to be that with one of the blues. And then another one of these, but this time with a hole. Another blue. Another white with a hole. And that's it for the left side of this, but let's keep going, because on top of that will be another one of these blue guys. If I put it in the right direction, that would help. Followed by one of these poles. Looks like just shoved in to here. Yeah, that's what it shows. Is it going further? No. Okay. So there's that, and then one of these it looks like is slid down on it. All the way, and then this thing goes on top of that with the thing we inserted facing down, so it'll go like that. And it looks to go all the way to the bottom. And that is it for the green box. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this same exact thing 2 more times. And I'll just speed that up because you don't need to watch it again. This one doesn't want to go in. There we go. Okay, green box is now done. Let's pick up these pieces that we were working on. We're going to do this 3 times as well. So this is going to go in here like that. We are going to take one of these and hook it here. And actually might as well take the other one because it's going to hook on the top. And then flip it over. This one, you're going to leave the side with the square, you're going to leave a gap and put this here. The other side, you're going to put one right up against. So I'm going to do that all 3 times now. Okay, that's it for step 14. Now let's do step 15. Okay, here are the parts for step 15. Let's go ahead and get started building. First, you're going to take your gray stick and just kind of stick it inside the little three-way thing here. I'm not sure how far down it's supposed to go. I'm going to assume all the way because this little cone goes on top of it. Let's see. So I'll assume this will butt up to that, like that. And then on top of that, you're going to do two of these black ones. Now these ones do have holes in them for both of them. So that is it for 15. Let's move on to 16. Okay, here are the parts for step 16. Let's go ahead and get started with building. First, take this one that has the little flat end and that. Put it through one of these little gray pieces. Slide it all the way down. Then you're going to put it through the three-way. There we go. Another one of these little spacers. And then put it into this brown piece, just like that. Okay, that's it for step 16. Now for step 17. Okay, step 17 is just combining all the pieces we had just made. So this one is going to be up on this side, and it's just going to go into that. And you're gonna have to do that 3 times. So first we're gonna wanna do this down in the bottom one, the brown part facing away from the center of the piece, so it looks like that. Now we'll just have to attach the rest as well. So there we have it. That's it for 17. Now for step 18. Okay, here are the parts for step 18. So you need this little, sorry about that, you need this little red piece. And you're gonna actually stick it in the bottom of here. And then that's gonna go into this little groove that we had left open down there. So there we are. That's it for step 18. Now for step 19. Step 19 is just attaching the decal, which you will put right in the middle of this, which is going to be really hard to do while it's on. So I'm just going to pop this plate off, try to get the decal peeled off. And there's no way I'm going to get this even remotely centered or straight. So I'm just going to give it my best. All right. You know what? Good enough. Better than I expected myself to do. Snap it back on. And there we have the completed build. This was a very fun build. I really enjoy this. I did not expect the quality that I got out of this build from the Dollar Tree. And at only $3, I would highly recommend picking this one up. The only complaint I have is this is a little wobbly because it's only held on by that one little peg, but it looks amazing and I am super happy with this.